Well, folks, we knew this day would come eventually. I've just had my appointment with the cardiologist, my long-awaited appointment with the cardiologist. And for the first time in my 39 years, I've been told to reduce my intake of coffee and Diet Coke. I'm making light of it to try and hide the fact that I want to cry. They're my two favourite liquids and I'm not allowed to drink them anymore. Oh, my word. This is the worst. It's not the worst thing that could have happened. That phone call could have gone a lot worse than it actually did. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link back to the original video from back in May down in the description below. I'll put it up in a card at the top of the screen as well. But to cut a long story very short, I was taken into hospital in May because I had a very fast, irregular heartbeat, and it panicked everyone, panicked the doctors, panicked me. To be fair, it was a horrible experience. At that point, I was put on some new medication. I've always had high blood pressure. I've been on 3 daily medications for heart blood pressure for many, many years. I'm currently on 5 daily medications. The 3 existing blood pressure medications that I've been on for a long time. A beta blocker to help manage the blood pressure even more, and it has had a big impact. That's had a massive impact on my blood pressure. And a blood thinner to basically lessen the chances of the rapid irregular heartbeat and subsequent strokes and things like that that could come off the back of having a rapid irregular heartbeat. So that's what's kind of led me to this point. Over the last couple of months, I've had numerous tests and things. You'll remember on the day of the England-Scotland game at the Euros, I had to go in for an echocardiogram. I've had a couple of ECGs at the GP. I've had various blood tests. And this is the first time I've had all of the results from everything presented to me all in one go. And the results are effectively inconclusive. It doesn't really show anything one way or the other. Everything they've been able to get firm results on has been fine. They can't see any obvious reason why I had the issue that I have. The fact it was a complete one-off makes them suspect it might be a complete one-off. But even as the doctor has just said to me, even if it is a complete one-off, as a at the time 38-year-old, for something like that to happen, even as a one-off, there must be a root cause for it. And the job now is to try and find out what that cause was. So the reason I say not all of the results were fully conclusive is because there's a lot of me. I am a big boy, both in terms of height and weight and thickness of my flesh and my chest. And they were able to check my entire heart, apart from, I think he said, the main cavity. I don't know anything about hearts. Basically, that's the one bit that they couldn't get a proper look at because there was bits of me in the way. So they've now referred me for something called a CMR scan, which is the next thing that I'm going to have. I don't really know what a CMR scan is. Hold on, I've got it on the computer over here. It's a cardiovascular magnetic resonance scan. Uses a strong magnetic field and radio waves to create a detailed image of the heart. Okay, gives information on the structure of the heart, blood vessels, and how well they're working. So I've got one of those coming up. I'm also going to be having another round of blood tests because they're convinced I should have high cholesterol, even though I never show it on blood tests. I'm also going to have another ECG just to check that everything is working as it should there. I've got to continue monitoring my blood pressure and my heart rate at home, which means I need to get my Apple Watch sorted again because that was a big part of helping monitor that kind of thing. And I still don't have a charger, so I've just ordered a new charger for that. And they also want to arrange for me to have either a 24-hour or a 3-day thing on me to monitor my heart throughout either a 1-day or a 3-day period. They're leaning towards doing it for the full 3 days because it's happened so irregularly in my life. At most, it's happened twice from what I can tell. Once back in May and once about 15 years ago. I've had incidents like that one. So because it's very unlikely for them to see an incident like that happen in 3 days, it's even less likely to see it in 1 day. They want to be able to monitor for as long as possible. But yeah, the job now is to get all of those tests together and have another look and see if they can find any reason why it might be happening. He said normally at this stage he would be increasing the medication that people are on because normally things continue to get worse, but actually the medication that I've been put on and the changes that I've made so far are starting to have a positive difference. My average blood pressure is now down from averaging like 140 over 100 down to like 120 over 70 on an average over a number of weeks now. So that's a huge positive change. My resting heart rate has come down massively as well. It regularly comes in below 60 when I check that each morning through my watch or my ring. So stuff is all moving in the right direction. Plus I've got the side effects of the medication that we need to take into account as well. The swelling in the ankles. He said it's probably not the new medication that's causing the swelling in the ankles, but the previous blood pressure medication I've been on for a long time could be causing that, and it could just be an accumulative effect of that, and it's getting worse over time. But because I'm getting side effects, albeit one that he doesn't think is linked to the new medication, he doesn't want to fiddle with any of the medication. And actually the plan now is to eliminate potential causes of what happened and try and get to the point where they can maybe start taking me off some medications. Off the back of this CMR scan, if everything looks good off the back of the CMR scan, the first thing they're going to do is take me off the blood thinners, because they don't want me to be on blood thinners unless I need to be on blood thinners. And if everything is working correctly, then there's no reason for me to be on blood thinners. So I could come off them just as soon as that scan is done and I'm back with the cardiologist again. But I mean, that could be months, because bear in mind, I was in A&E in May, and this is the first time today that I've spoken to a cardiologist. So it's taken 3.5 months to get to the point where I've spoken to him for an initial assessment. So by the time we've got through all of these tests and things that I've got to do again, I would be surprised if I'm talking to him again this side of Christmas. So I think I'm on the meds for a little while yet. And then the other medications, he wants me, as you would expect, to make some lifestyle changes or continue with some existing lifestyle changes. I have been prescribed walking. I said I do walk, but now I need to really exercise walk. It's no good just going for a little stroll with Dave or walk up the shops. I need to be out and about, getting my 10,000 steps a day every day, and making sure that at least half an hour of it is an exercise walk where I'm actually, raising my heart rate a little bit, not having a little stroll, walking pretty briskly and trying to get a little bit of a sweat going, try and get a little bit out of breath. So I've got to do that every day, which is nice, and then slowly build back up to going to the gym. I know I started going back to the gym again at the start of summer, but he doesn't want me doing that just yet. At the moment, the focus should be on cardio, heart health stuff, and as I can't really do any cardio because my knees are shot and I hate it, we agreed that walking is the best place to start with that. It might eventually lead on to cycling or swimming, but I'm not really able to do, I can't really do cycling at the moment because of my knees and just general achiness, and swimming, there's no swimming pool nearby, so it's just a pain in the backside to do swimming. So we're walking for now and holding off on the gym until we're absolutely certain that there's no problem with the heart, because what we don't want is any big spikes in my heart rate that could potentially cause any fault in my heart to get worse. So weightlifting, intense cardio, that's all off the table again for now. So lots of walking. I've got to lose some weight. We know I've got to lose some weight, but he's really spelt it out and said I absolutely must. By the time we get round to our next consultation, I need to have dropped a couple of stone. That's what he's looking to see. 25-30 pounds gone over the next 2 or 3 months, which is no mean feat. I've basically spent the last year or so losing and regaining the same 20 pounds or so, but I've got to just really focus in on it and make sure that I take 30 off and keep them off by the time I see him next. And he said that could then have an impact on potentially reducing some of the medications that are causing the side effects, like the swelling of the lower legs, the ankles, because they're affecting my ability to do exercise, because they are causing pain. When I go on a long drive, my knees swell and they hurt, and just stuff like that. If I can drop some weight, it'll, firstly, just the act of dropping some weight will lower the pressure on my joints, my knees, my ankles, my lower back, but also by lowering the weight, we might be able to start reducing some of the other medications that are causing the side effects. So it's got a double benefit of losing some weight. And when it's put like that, I've never really been one that's been particularly motivated about how I'll look in a swimsuit, but if I can drive to Nottingham and back without having to stop in a lay-by and limp around moaning about how my knees hurt like I did earlier this week, then I'd quite like to do that. So that's quite a motivator. And then we got on to caffeine consumption, and he wasn't impressed at all. I said I drink like 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day and probably 2 or 3 cans of Diet Coke a day. And he said, right, well, that has to stop. We can't just stop cold turkey, because that'll in itself cause palpitations if you just come off the caffeine immediately. But I need to be, over the next month or so, working to reduce the coffee. So I've got a plan for both the Coke and the coffee that I've talked about with the guy. Diet Coke, I'm allowed 3 cans a day maximum for the next week. Then the week after, it's 2 cans a day maximum. The week after that, it's 1 can a day maximum. And then within a month, I will never be allowed to drink caffeine fizzy drinks ever again. I can have caffeine-free Coke. I can have stuff like 7-Up that doesn't have caffeine in. But yeah, the Dr. Pepper, the Diet Coke, all that kind of stuff is going to be off the table in a month. I'm not going to be able to have that anymore. So if we're into FM22 launch and you catch me on stream drinking out of a can of Coke, you need to really tell me off, because I'm not allowed to do that. I think I need to get on the flavoured waters and the caffeine-free stuff. And I hate the taste of caffeine-free Coke, but I guess I need to learn to like it. And with the coffee, because I'm sort of 3 to 5 cups a day at the moment and have been for years, as of right now, I have a hard stop at 3. I'm going to have 3 cups of coffee a day for now. Over the next couple of weeks, I need to try and reduce that to 2 cups of coffee a day. And he said long term, 2 cups of coffee a day is fine. It's sustainable as long as it is just 2 cups of coffee and there's no Diet Coke, there's no tea, there's no other major caffeine containing things being put in on top of that as well. So I think my long term plan, cup of coffee in the morning when I get up, cup of coffee after my dinner in the evening, so I don't fall asleep straight after I eat like I always do. I think I'm gonna have to start having an afternoon nap, because the idea of having lunch and not having a coffee straight afterwards and expecting to stay awake seems quite alarming. But I don't, that one's a less immediate thing. That's over the next couple of weeks. For now, I've just got to get myself used to that hard limit of 3 a day and don't go beyond that. I have got quite a few decaffeinated Nespresso pods that I've been accumulating just in case this ever happened, and it's happened. So yeah, we're going to be massively reducing that stuff as well. So I know I've been here before and you've heard me say stuff like this before, but I really need to take the weight loss a lot more seriously this time, because I have the heart doctor now telling me I have to, and I've got to drop the caffeine and up the exercise to go with it. This is all nice, isn't it? But it's not all doom and gloom today. I am going to my first football match in over 2 years in a little while, so I'm going to be cutting this vlog off after this bit, because everything from then on is going to be on a football match day vlog that I'll put over on my Football Manager channel. So if you want to see how my trip to the football goes, you need to have a look over there in a day or two's time, and you'll see a match day vlog over there, probably out by the time you see this. I imagine I'll get that edited out at the same time as this one. But there's a couple of other bits to tell you about as well. This, first of all, is a brilliant thing that got sent through to the PO box last week, that for whatever reason the clip just disappeared and never made it into a video. And we actually recorded Andy opening this. It came through the PO box for Andy. It's from Shaz, who's been a long-term supporter of the channel. You might remember a few years ago Shaz sent us a load of Premier Inn vouchers that allowed us to go on the Bournemouth holiday we went on a few years back, and she sent Andy a brand new camera, which is just like incredible, crazy generous. It's just like the one that he had when we were down in London last year, the one that got smashed at the O2 with a little flip out screen that flips around like that, the zoom slidey bit on the top, and it's got a little case and everything in here. He's not started using it yet because he's super into using his phone for video at the moment, because he then doesn't have to wait for me to edit it and get it put on through Andy's eyes. He can just watch it back on his phone. He's got a remote control in here. But a day will come where he wants to start putting stuff on YouTube again and wants to start using a camera again. He knows this exists, and this is what he's like. He now knows he's got a proper video camera again, and there'll just be a random day that comes at some point and he'll just say camera, and we'll have it there ready to go. So Shaz, thank you. That is incredibly generous and very much appreciated. And the other cool thing that's come through to the PO box, I haven't been able to open yet, but I'm hoping if I can get it open now, I can show you this as well. So this is from the same guy who sent me the Kevin Chapman custom pop about a year ago. This one, probably not even a year ago, but he sent me this, which is really, really cool. My Kevin Chapman custom pop, which is obviously my very favourite pop that I have. But he's now sent me this one as well, along with some Australian newspaper. I'm just trying to see if he's put a note in there so that I can remember the guy's name, because otherwise I'm like a total ignorant monster. But this is Mitar Sernajaki, the star player from my Born series on YouTube last year. And you see it's got the detail of the Born shirt on there, the custom box and everything. It is so cool. It's Mitar Sernajaki, and that is awesome. I'm just going to find the name of the guy who sent it so that I can thank him properly. So this is from Lee King, who's known as MMA_spectator over on Instagram. So if you want to check out the stuff that he does, he obviously makes custom pops. He's made both of these, and they are very, very cool. So thank you very much, Lee, for sending that over. That is just awesome. What a cool little collection we're starting to build of custom pops. This might be my new thing. I like custom pops. But as I said, I am going to wrap the video up there because I've got to start getting something sorted for dinner, some really healthy option, because I've got to be super healthy now, and then I've got to head over to Peterborough for the football. So like I say, if you want to see how that turns out, head over to the gaming channel to catch that. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.